People are saying Dispatch posted something about Jimin and JK. People are talking about a story that was posted with Song Da Eun and allegedly Jimin, reigniting that rumor. And then we have some soldiers giving some reactions over something that happened with Jimin. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Let's get into it. There is this situation that is going on outside the military right now that is extremely controversial, as a lot of people aren't sure exactly what the point of this is. And basically we are seeing a lot of the posters and little billboards outside of the camp that are showing Jimin's face and are trying to honor Jimin. These, I believe, were created by specific fan clubs. These were organized and brought out. I don't know how long they will remain there or have been there, but people thought this was very rude. Now, with every BTS fan event or things that the community does is often hit with two sides of the coin. One side is people loving it and saying that it's great and they wish that they could be part of something like this, or people who just hate it, or it's people who seemingly also wish that they could be part of something like this, but then are bashing the community who did this because they are upset that the community is getting the attention and they're not. I did want to mention that too. Now, I don't necessarily believe that this particular project we are going to talk about today and people hating on it is a result of people being jealous, but it can happen. Some people believe the wording on the poster outside of Jimin's poster from the military are a little bit strange, and one of those things is apparently the poster saying, "Jimin, don't protect the country, protect us." Now that is weird in my opinion, and not even just a little bit weird, but very weird. I think it's so strange to say that, and that to be something that he sees when he leaves the military camp, which he might occasionally, right? Like if he had any time off. It's a really weird thing to say to someone who's in the military for the sole reason of serving their country. I mean, that's the only reason why they want to be in there. They're not there for their community and they're not there for themselves. I don't know what Jimin's reaction is to reading a poster like this saying strange things. I would imagine he's probably not too happy with even his fellow soldiers seeing stuff like this, because it can be a little bit embarrassing for his fellow colleagues and new friends to see that this is what his community is expecting of him or saying of him. This is the mentality that I think BTS or a lot of K-pop artists have created, where it can be a little toxic, where it's them saying it's us, the community, versus the entire world and no one else matters. And this is simply not true, because the community and people who create posters like this will quite literally say you should love the community before your friends and family. And yeah, BTS and all of the boys definitely do love the community, but they're not going to put us in front of their friends and family who they actually know. And guess where their friends and family are in the country. So protecting the country means they're going to protect their friends and family first. It's a very strange thing to word it this way, and I definitely am not a fan of this. I hope we don't hear any thoughts and opinions from soldiers coming out of the military, and I doubt they would actually address something like this, but they might, and that would be interesting, right? And of course, while the BTS boys are in the military and just enjoying their military time, I hope they're enjoying it at least, the community is making content to post and fill in the time. One of the things that they have made is a picture of JK and Jimin laying on a hammock on a ship. I believe this was a ship that they were on when they were doing their reality show together. And they were both seen relaxing in the front with this hammock area and just kind of be out on the water and relax. Jimin seemed like he was awake for a little bit, but JK went right to sleep, and it was a really cute moment here. Some people were saying that Dispatch mentioned JK and Jimin. Of course, that is a joke. They're making this up, and is a cute thing to say. They were reported to say that they both look very cute and cuddly in this picture. These are things that are a result of the boys and just not being around as much anymore, and people having to make really cute content like this to promote the boys, but also to show them being cute and get more people to love them. One of the really cool things about the community is simply just the fact that the boys are not necessarily needing to create content every single day, but it's the community that is doing it. A lot of people would pay someone to start that and get that going, where they would hire a social media manager to create a bunch of different accounts to repost a lot of artist content, but the community does this on their own, so this is something that labels don't even have to pay for. And yes, some accounts for some artists are bought. Usually this is a staff running it, and it's just someone taking clips from podcasts, clips from interviews, and that sort of stuff, and making cute edits and posting them. And usually what happens is, if these posts get a lot of views, and we're talking like hundreds of thousands to millions of views, then other accounts are going to start to try to do this type of content as well. And then the content gets out there, and then the people who are making these types of accounts are also making money from it too. So it benefits everyone, and it really helps the community stay alive in times when the artists can't really make or produce anything. Fortunately, in BTS's case, all of the community that is showing love and supporting and reposting things are all real people and real accounts that have happened organically, are not bought for, not paid for. That doesn't mean that a lot of these accounts aren't making money from talking about BTS or from doing the content that they do, but typically they are still getting the boys' names out there, and it really does help a lot of people. And of course, content like this, seeing Jimin and JK laying there, being happy, is really something that the community value because it brings a lot of happiness to them. It's amazing to see the boys in this light when we know that they're likely getting bruised and injured in the military. So whoever's making these edits and talking about these types of cute moments, please continue to keep doing that and keep reposting them. I mean, that's why I talk about them here on this page, is because I like to see content like this. Of course, I can't really credit these people fully and give them their page and all that stuff because I often do get a lot of backlash. I mean, a long time ago in 2020, there was this YouTube channel that I don't think is really active anymore or around anymore, which is why I think it's okay to talk about it, called Korea Crush. They report on general stories about BTS, and I would give my commentary on that story. So I would reiterate their story and then talk about how I felt about it, assuming that their story was accurate and real. What happened was several people then went to their page and told Korea Crush that I was stealing their content word for word and just taking the content as is. Meanwhile, their videos were 4 to 5 minutes long and my videos were 10 minutes long. So I don't know how exactly I would have stolen their content word for word. They also threatened me with YouTube to take down my videos, and I went to a lawyer saying if this were to happen and if the videos were to be taken down and it was because of them, I would be able to sue them. But anyway, they confronted me about it without actually ever watching my videos. So that was kind of a crazy time. And after that point, I just stopped crediting people because that was not worth it. And it's clear that almost no one in this community watches a video all the way to the end. So if you're going to do that, I really appreciate you. And of course, speaking of which, I always like to leave the best stories for the end. So if you watch the end, you got a little treat, I suppose. People were talking about the Jimin and Song Da Eun relationship again. This is not something that I personally believe is real, but a lot of people are pushing this idea that it's real with a lot of evidence that they believe to be real. One of which is an Instagram story that allegedly shows a skyline, and there was a person in that video, but that person was blocked out by a cartoon flower. People then compared that skyline to a picture in which Jimin took, or someone took of Jimin, showing him right along that same skyline. So then the theory goes into Song Da Eun, and that she took the picture for Jimin and that they were both there at the skyline together, hanging out or going on a date. There's a few things here to consider that doesn't really ever get talked about. First off, this area is likely really popular given how beautiful it is. So it's probably a popular landmark. It's probably somewhere that a lot of people go to. So two people being seen in that area is definitely not strange. And then of course, second of all, we can't actually confirm whether Song actually posted this story or not. We know this from just the screenshots and that sort of stuff, but there's no hard evidence as the IG story is gone, right? It disappears after 24 hours. But if this is true, it still doesn't really prove anything. How many people have gone to that landmark and probably posted about it? Are they all in a relationship with Jimin? It would be much more interesting if the locations were extremely remote areas that very, very few people know of. Then at least there would be some leg to stand on, but this looks like a bridge that is in front of a skyline, which means it's in front of a city, which obviously a lot of people would see and know of. So it's definitely not a secret. One other thing that I think is really strange that doesn't ever really get talked about is if they were together, wouldn't they be really cautious about posting any hints? Song has addressed not wanting to be associated with this and not liking the rumors. So then why would she continue or actively post things that make people think that she is in a relationship with him? If anything, it seems like she's just posting things and then it coincidentally aligns with what Jimin is posting, and then she's sitting there like, oh, I can't believe that happened like that. Oh no, I'm going to get in trouble now. Because if you want to believe that V and Jennie were in a relationship together, if you want to believe that Jennie and G-Dragon were in a relationship together, what exactly were the hints prior to this? Both of these things hit the community like a big shock because it was shocking. People didn't really put the two together because there were no quote-unquote evidence of the two together. They essentially hid it really well if it was all true, and that's what happens with dating rumors. It's always a shock because it comes out of nowhere and people don't see it. So if you are seeing quote-unquote hints of it, then it's probably not true. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos, linked down below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.